Okay. Who else?
Hello.
Hey.
Sir, as Americans, we were all raised to be loyal and patriotic to this country. You all at one time knew and know what it takes to raise a family. Corporate America has sold out America to most of us. How can we compete? Because sooner or later, it's going to go anyway, isn't it? Now, you as a congressman, you as the head of the union, what can we do to change this? We need an answer. Thank you.
There's two answers, I think, to the question. The one is that you're right. For a long, long time, and up into including today, in my humble opinion, our government and our corporations have not insisted on trade rules in the world that put us on a level playing field. I'll say what I said before. If we're on a level playing field, you can compete with anybody in the world and win, in my opinion. I believe that. But you're not usually on a level playing field. We have to insist that the government and corporate and other leaders get us on that level playing field. That's a fight that will never end. And you're right, a lot of corporations really don't care about it. They just as soon move the jobs to Mexico or China or some other place. Why fight it? You know, they just move them out. There's no fair trade. There's no movement in Mexico to bring people up. There's no unions in Mexico. The way we think of a union, it's a disaster. And so we've got to insist as citizens that the government and our corporate leaders get us on a level playing field, as hard as that sometimes is. The one industry that's done a pretty good job of this is steel, because the steel workers and the steel companies have filed unfair trade cases and won a bunch of them. They just won the other day where they kept Chinese pipe, which is very popular now. You know, we got all this shale stuff going on. Pipe is very expensive. It's $1,000 a ton. We kept out pipe that they were dumping in the United States. So we need government and corporations to fight for that. But my second answer to you is that even if we're on a level playing field, as I said to you before, we come into this competition with a higher standard of living. We don't want that standard of living to come down to where it is in Mexico or China. We want to keep it up here. We want it even higher, as we've just been talking. So to do that, we got to work together better than we have in the past. It's the only way to get it done. So those are my two answers to you. We got to get better trade rules. And secondly, business and labor, employers and employees have to work together better in the United States so we can hold, if not improve, our standard of living in that competition. And I'll say one last thing. I don't know of many meetings like this that are going on in the United States today. Tom has maybe seen it in a few corporations, but I've not seen it. And I don't want to lay a trip on y'all, but we have a chance to be a model for the rest of the country right here at Spirit in Wichita, Kansas. If we can make this work and we can knock the ball out of the park, we will be looked at by every company. Trust me, every manufacturing company in the country will look at this example and say, how did they do that? Let's see if we can do that. That's what Spirit can be.
Well, brother, I can't agree with your comments more. A couple points. I'm sick and tired of sending kids or family members with a battle rifle in their hand overseas to defend the corporation's right to destroy our jobs at home while we're over there defending them. Something wrong with that picture. We have members who make the battle vehicles used in Afghanistan, Iraq, and God knows wherever else in the world. And while our members are over there fulfilling their either guard assignment, posting, or their active duty, and then the company that's manufacturing the very battlefield equipment they're going to be using and house their job is selling the rights to build that to China and other countries, I get that too. There's something wrong with that picture. So the best thing I can say to you, I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat, and people have heard me say this. Sometimes unions get painted as very monolithic in one political party. I don't care what your affiliation is, but for God's sake, vote and use it, and listen to what the candidates say. More importantly, measure them by what they do. And when they start listening to the people they're supposed to represent, maybe we'll get the kind of laws that Dick Gephardt fought for so many years, but couldn't find enough people from either party to support those things that keep America safe at home, keep Americans employed in good-paying jobs, and make us the envy of the rest of the world. That's the world, that's the America you were born into that I judge by your age, okay, just like me. And I don't know why we still can't enjoy that today in America.
Let me make one comment. I think I mean we all see what gets manifest as corporate greed. On the other hand, if I was in probably a group of all CEOs, they might have a different view. I think what's important for us is that we recognize there are and have been excesses in the corporation, in politics. I mean, you name an area in the world where people haven't done things their mothers wouldn't be proud of. And all that is real, all that exists. But in some ways, it's the backdrop of where we are as a company and what we have to do. We can work as individuals and vote. I'm involved with a group of CEOs trying to send letters around to congressmen and to the administration to demand a level playing field for our products and services around the world. But unless and until that happens, we still have to compete. We have to play the hand that's dealt to us. And my point is, if we play that together with our dual objectives of keeping our team for the future intact and keeping our company healthy, we will figure out ways to be successful competitors in the world. We have a great base of business. We have good customers. We have opportunities for the future. In the last 5 years, we've been able to add to our customer base, not lose customers. Okay, we've got great opportunities. But I tell you guys, if we don't figure this out, and we don't figure out how to work it together, we're going to be fighting an uphill battle, and we're going to be fighting ourselves while we're trying to fight the uphill battle. So we got to figure this out together. We got to get things straightened out. We got to have straight dialogue. You got to be able to stand up and say, Turner, why'd you take an extra bonus while I was taking a pain pill? We got to have those kind of dialogues, and we got to come away respecting each other, understanding each other, the compensation packages and the way they work, and how we get in this boat together and row in the same direction. Because I'm telling you, it's tough enough out there if we're together. It's impossible if we're apart.